like the fact that mastering is mysterious. We do that on purpose. And when I became a mastering engineer full-time, the best part was that you didn't have to tell anybody what you were doing as long as you turned out a really terrific product. Here's Al Cooper of the original Blood, Sweat, and Tears. In fact, Al invented Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Here is my version of his first album, Child is Father to the Man. And Sony sent over the original quarter-inch analog on this, and we remastered it. And it came out on SACD, also Super Session. If anyone's ever aware of the process, then we have all failed. Everyone in the recording chain has failed. And this illusion called a recording becomes some sort of process to the listener. And we don't like that. Typical job. The producer calls me on this. He says, I hear a noise. Can you do anything about the noise? Then he listens on very, very bright speakers, so he hears all the little noises. So he found a noise. He writes me an email. I have one issue, a noise at 3:14 on track 9. Sounds like taking the next express to Philadelphia. It's the 3:14 on track 9. So I open up the master, which is this current master. We go down to track 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's track 9. Mixes come in, they'll give me a sequence, and then first thing we do is set the pacing, which is the spaces, the heads, the tails, get rid of count-offs that aren't supposed to be there, get rid of the drumstick hitting the microphone that's not supposed to be there, fix all that stuff. We apply the basic techniques, which are not really mysterious or fairy dust, and they are EQ, compression, sometimes expansion. We can adjust the ambience, we can open the room up a little bit. Can't really shut it down. Technology doesn't let us remove ambience, but we can add, we can change it a little bit. Let's see if we hear a noise. Did anybody hear that noise? Okay, there's a noise, a tick, there's a click. And then there's a click. So I took that click, analyzed it. So this thing, that white, and there's all these black squiggles, and then there's this white hollow thing. That is the noise, and we can make it play it. So what I instruct the system to do, using the no-noise system, I choose an algorithm, and I tell it to compare the samples that are represented by that noise, compare that with the samples immediately before or immediately after. Change only what's different. So here we've got equal zoom ratio, if you will. It's about 2 frames worth. And this is, I'm going to make this 2 frames worth. Okay, so here and here in slow motion, we no longer hear it. It's gone. It's magic. Tucker's Pearl theory holds that a first song can't be a fourth song, and a fifth can't be a second, and a closer can't be an opener, and that sort of thing. And it's a battle that's sort of over in the digital download age of song, of iTunes, of the services that automatically break albums up into songs, and people just buy songs, and they just listen to songs, and they're changing artists and all that stuff. So the song people want every song to be big as a house and to have the maximum emotional impact. But the Pearl theory holds that you draw the listener into an album. And you can open with a big tune. That's a way to draw people in. So the Pearl doesn't mean small, bigger, biggest, smaller, smallest. It doesn't. The taper is completely up for grabs. It can end big and close small. It can be bookended with 2 huge tunes or 2 ballads. All of that's completely valid and real. But there's a shape, and just like the waveform has a shape, and the dynamics of the song has a shape, and the dynamics of an album has a shape. Now this just came in the mail. This is every engineer's greatest love. A happy customer has sent a copy of his new CD that we mastered here. Let's open it. I feel like Mr. Rogers. I can take my shoes off like Mr. Rogers, but we're going to open this Jiffy bag And we're going to see, let's hope he's happy. This is probably a copy of his new CD with a lovely note. There's the note. You see, I predicted it. It's true. And let's see what the note says. You jerk, you really screwed up. No. Hi, Alan. Now that's, you see, he doesn't really know me well because only my mom calls me Alan. Only my mom. That's how you know. If it's Alan, it's always my mom. Hi, Alan. Everybody else is tucked, so get that. Hi, Alan. Thanks again for the great work, Dave. Don't you love it? I like my customers to get in and get out. It's true they're paying, so there's pretty good incentive to keep them around. But there's a lot of things going on for me to do in here and outside of here. So I like to have them be focused. I like the sequence in advance. It forces them to make the creative decisions, and then the fewer phone calls here for them. Smooth jazz, man. I think without fear of contradiction, I could say that I do everything except hip-hop. Although I have done some hip-hop and super squashed R&B, that I have done some of that. But since it's not music I listen to a lot, I'm probably not the right guy for it. See, here's Patricia Barber. See, now we're getting some nice credits. Patricia Barber, she's on Blue Note, and she writes, to Alan Tucker, guy with ears. Love, Patricia. Does it get better than that? Restorations, I'm known for restorations of old stuff. So I do a lot of catalog work, and the catalog work for usually for major labels. Very cheap for them. They'd rather spend a couple of $1,000s going back to an original tape, having me transfer it, taking out all the evidence of tape, or sometimes the only existing copy is an LP. So then I transfer the LP, take out all the noise, surface noise, crackling pops, distortions, and then everybody pretends it's a new tape, and then that gets mastered and put out. So that's a lot more cost effective for them than doing new recordings. Plus it's got the cachet of being some sort of classic artist. Here's a James Brown. I recommend this. This is a great James Brown. I loved working on this one. This was for Verve. And this is Frank Sinatra cover tunes. Nobody knows that James did this record, but James grunts his way through tunes like Strangers in the Night. I should play it for you. He goes, Strangers in the Night! Ugh! It's all here. You got to get it. So it's great. It's a reissue. It's on Verve. Is it on Verve? It is on Verve. So you got to get that. Just very quickly make sure that this is here. The duck theory is used every day. The duck theory is Tucker's duck theory. SM, service mark, TM, trademark. The duck theory simply holds that each session is the duck sailing across the pond, and that's what the client sees, and what they don't see is just under the surface, the feet moving like hell to make it look very effortless. And that's, most of life is like that. Most of life is like the duck theory. I agonize over the little details, and I like to think that that's what brings them back, and that's probably what makes good mastering special, is the concern for stupidly small details and relationships, and why does something feel right and why doesn't feel something right, and how is it going to translate when it gets out of here. And that's my job, to try to be the universal translator. It's got to play really great. Music's got to play on a shitty boombox, and it's got to play great on a $50,000 pair of audiophile speakers, and it has to sound great when it gets downloaded as an MP3 or equivalent. So that's a big bill to fill, but I think that's what I do. That's what I try to do.